I was noticing when I was watching a lot of what happened in October 7th, I was able to realize what was happening in my body as I was watching all of these things for the last like 3 hours. And I got to a point where I was able to pause in a very extreme reaction that my body was going through. Thankfully, I was able to notice it and pause and just drop everything and lay down here and just kind of drop in with myself, with my body, and see what is here, what comes up, because I feel like a lot of us are being sucked into these places, and I understand the importance of being involved, feeling all the truth of what's happening. And with that, I think there's need to be some kind of healthy boundaries and awareness, at least awareness to what actually happens to our bodies in those moments. So in the next few moments here, I'm just gonna be with my body. I'm noticing like my heart is racing, my upper back all the way to my neck feels really tight, feels in a lot of just really tense, almost like it was not there before. It's like I'm laying on this pillow and I still feel like the back of my neck cannot relax. Feel some sadness. It's really weird, like I don't feel like panic, but I feel like some parts of me right now, I can feel some parts of me feeling panic right now. So I'm gonna bring my awareness to the back of my neck, since I can really feel it strongly, like back of my neck just cannot relax. I'm gonna bring my awareness there and see what is it that I feel. It feels like a huge block, like rectangle block, and it feels kind of rough, but not super rough. It's like kind of like rough smooth. It's like light red. It feels stuck this way in the upper side of my back, and it's not, it slightly goes up on the right. Just like noticing like it like that and just naming it. I was noticing like a slight softening, a very, very subtle softening, specifically in that area where this block is at. But then my upper, like the actual back of my neck, feels really tight. It feels like my spine is like crunched together, but it's like it feels like a gray metal that's like crunched together, like very, very tight, like this spring looking, I don't know if that's how you call it, but like the spiral metal thing, and it just feels like crunched together on the back side of my neck. So that's, I feel that a little stronger now than the block. How I feel toward it. I feel some tightness in my right arm. I feel some tightness in my hips, especially my right hip. I feel like a very slight urge in my lower stomach, in my womb space, to find a quick relief or something to make it go away. Like there's like this urge. So I'm just kind of slowing down and just giving space to all of these sensations and feelings to be here. Okay, there's a bit more neutrality toward it now. I will imagine myself sitting on a little bench next to the block. I'll try to feel its vibe, feel its energy. What I'm getting from this is like really tight, crunched together. Actually probably from both of them. And just fear. Survival fear. There's some sadness in my chest. my heart space, and my throat. Because what I'm realizing is that how old this survival fear is. And what makes me feel even more sad is the realization of how many of us hold this fear, especially my race, the Jewish race. How many of us hold this exact same survival fear. It's really sad. And how many of us don't have the tools to get to know it and give it space. It feels so old. It feels so old. It feels, I don't know, like thousands, maybe like 5,000 years old. It's like beginning of the Bible or something. And I've met this fear when I worked with a lot of my Jewish clients. I've met this before, but this is the first time that I'm really meeting it in myself, this exact one. So in this process is really a lot about giving space to whatever is here, whatever feeling it is, to really give it space to be here, really slowing down and give it some breathing room to just be, to allow this energy to move through. And when I feel the fear and the survival fear from these parts in my upper back and the back of my neck, the impact on me is this sadness. When I'm connecting with that fear, that old survival fear, it brings up sadness for me. So where it's at, the healing, the true healing happens in those moments of presence and just giving space to these feelings. So I'm gonna get a little closer now and start the communication process, and I'm gonna ask it, is there anything else that you would like to show me today? You would like me to be aware of today? My mom comes up to me. It's really showing me this like image and felt sense of when this survival fear is so strong, how it's like taking so much energy from the brain. It's like really tiring the mind. Like the mind is not able to function properly when there's so much survival fear taking that energy in the mind. It's energy that is kind of tangled up in the mind rather than flowing down into the body, especially down into the base of the spine, into the legs, to the feet, through the feet into the earth. I have a huge wave of chills as I'm saying that. It's really showing me this image of like all this energy like just going up and just clenched together like a huge knot or a few knots, and like how it creates these like imbalances and the pressure in the back of my neck and the upper back, like how this energy here actually is supposed to go down to the hips, to the legs, to the feet. You can really feel that energy like gathered up in the left side of the back of my head and the left side of my forehead. I really see how this tangled up energy, the survival energy, is kind of in a way blocking a lot of my sight, blocking a lot of my clarity, blocking a lot of my ability to see. I really think about the Holocaust a lot. I see like faces of people in the Holocaust. I really feel like the impact of that is a part of this survival fear. They impact our bodies, our energy, our nervous system. So just to explain, I'm doing now energy weaving, and I specifically work on the left side of my forehead. There's like an area like this big maybe. There's some entanglements, some wounds, whatever you want to call it. I can really feel it on my left temple. It almost looks like a green mold, but it's like the mold area seems like something got peeled off, almost like skin got peeled off or something, but it's not skin. It's like, it looks more like something in the earth or something. I don't know how to explain this. Like mold on a tree or something, where in that area of the mold, the outside of the branch of the tree got kind of peeled out or something. Like an open wound, but it's not like, it looks like more like on a tree or something, which makes sense considering the fact that we are the tree of life, that the tree of life is us, starting from our root, from our feet, all the way to our crown, or outside of our crown. So as I'm imagining this tree of life, this tree of mine, I can see this mold on the top left side of the tree. So I'm just going area by area, just treating this area with care and love, bringing love into this area, not with any intention of trying to fix it, but just an intention of just giving it care and love. It seems like it's been here for a while. It feels like it's been alone here for a while and almost abandoned in a way. Just giving it the care that it needs. And I know the care that I would want if I was that wound, if I was that mold. I would want to be cared for as well. So I'm kind of bringing in slowly golden threads of unconditional love. I'm like starting to weave it inside this mold. Well, I'm starting from around it and then slowly starting to touch it gently in the more central area. When I'm doing these breaths, it's bringing in unconditional love. It's like golden light energy on the wound. And it's crazy because every time I do it, I can like see like it's almost like when a wound is being healed, you know what I mean? It's like slowly, in like small areas. I followed the threads of the knots and I kind of magnified it and went deeper into it, to the root of it, and then magnified it and went deeper, magnified, went deeper, magnified, went deeper. And I now, with my right hand, I'm kind of holding actually it's not the root thread, there's a little bit more, let me see. Okay, I don't know how far back it goes, so I'm just gonna hold it in this point of the thread. And I'm just gonna bring love into it from my source of unconditional love, which is on that side of the room. So I'm just gonna visualize or imagine the energy of pure unconditional love, this golden light coming into my body, into my heart. It's really weird because when I hold the thread in my fingers, where I hold the thread, it's like my fingers are like burning. It's like a burning sensation in my fingers. So I'm now bringing this unconditional love into my heart and allow this energy of unconditional love to move through my shoulders, down my hands, all the way to my fingertips, and allow this pure energy of unconditional love to just fill up this thread all the way, infinitely, to both directions, this way and that way. This way to me is the way that is closest to the physical form, and that way is the way that is more subtle. It's not always how it is, but it's just the way that I'm seeing it right now with this specific thread, the way I'm imagining it. The thing I will say to you now is that the block in my upper back and this tight spring in the back side of my neck, I barely feel it now. Like I feel way more relaxed now. It's still, I would say if it was like 7, 8 out of 10 earlier, now it's like 3 out of 10. So I'm imagining this thread turning into gold. And then it's like puts a layer of like almost like coiling this thread all the way across. Continues all the way to the root and all the way this way. It's like this thread becomes pretty strong and alive and vibrant. There's like these extra layers of protection around it. And I can really feel like my nervous system like really settling. I was even yawning a second ago, which is an indicator for that. And I'm also feeling like some movement in my stomach. Like I can literally hear sounds of my like movements in my stomach, like things are moving around. I feel like energy expanding, and especially in my rib cage area. I can feel one specific area between my solar plexus and my heart chakra, a little bit on the left. There's one area that feels like a huge resistance. Like there's like it feels like a pretty big, like something that's kind of, you know, like almost like a felt sense of like a bone stuck in your throat, kind of like something stuck in this area. But again, I'm not trying to get rid of it. I'm not trying to ignore it. If anything, what I do now with my right hand on this spot, I just, first of all, communicating with it through my fingers. First of all, letting it know, I see you, I acknowledge you. I see that you're here. I feel you. You have space to be here. And this is like a fast process because I'm so familiar with this process. Been practicing it for the last 2.5 years, so it's like a faster way, the way that I do it, than when I work with clients. It's more like a slow process of getting to know and notice and how do I feel toward it. But here, when I'm in this process by myself, it's kind of like skipping some steps, and it's not skipping, it's more like condensing them. It's like happening faster through the felt sense and the energy than the filtering of the mind and like the speaking about it. I'm just kind of explaining to you what's happening. So as I'm kind of touching this area and just giving it attention and love, also my left hand is on my heart chakra, so my heart chakra feels really open right now. So I'm just sending it love from my heart to this exact part. And I can just feel this huge thing that felt kind of stuck. I can feel it become smaller and smaller. And I'm like intentionally like sending it love from my heart, just like sending it energy of love from my heart. And I can feel a lot of energy kind of pulsing, especially in my, I don't even know where's that, because it doesn't quite feel in my body. It feels like outside of my body, but it's coming more from the left back side of my body. Okay, now I feel it in my stomach, in my hips, in my legs, in my arms, It's kind of like going everywhere, just like energy pulsating, just like almost like a volcano, but a volcano of energy, just like just kind of moving around. And breathing is important to remember as well in this process. Okay, so this thing that was stuck, that was like about one palm of hand size before, now it's like really small. It's like maybe like this big, size of a date. Yeah, it's the size of a date. Actually getting smaller now. Now it's about the size of a hazelnut. And again, I can still feel like things moving around. I can also hear it. For example, I heard something moving around in the left side of my rib cage and then the right side of my rib cage. It's getting smaller and smaller. It becomes like a little tiny raisin. It's kind of bringing me into this idea of the identity of the Jewish identity and how much is wrapped in it, how much fear and protection and like survival is wrapped in our Jewish identity, and how that also impacts our hearts too. I can really feel this resistance, this thing that I'm working on right now between the solar plexus and the heart, which the solar plexus is all about our sense of self, and our identity is in our solar plexus, and there's so much wrapped in it. But also how it kind of, in a way, these entanglements, I can really feel it's kind of like limiting the flow of energy to the heart, to compassion, to empathy, to gratitude, to kindness, to unconditional love, to everything and everyone. So what I'm doing right now is like, I'm kind of doing energy weaving on this area where this entanglement feels like out. I'm kind of weaving that back into coherence, back into balance. And my intention with it is I'm not even dealing with the stories about this. I'm dealing with the energy structure of what creates the stories. But I'm in the energetic layer of that. And what I'm doing with the energy, I'm just kind of, my intention is just to remind it about coherence, about its truth, about alignment and the way it's supposed to flow. I'm just reminding it the way it's supposed to flow, with love and care and gentleness and empathy. And I can tell you, I feel so much movement in my stomach. And I also feel like I can feel my energy center, my solar plexus, right below my rib cage. I can really feeling it like becomes aligned more and more. I can really feel it just kind of settling in, just kind of coming into balance. So I'm kind of like, it's not really tapping, but this is the way that sometimes energy weaving looks like on the body itself. Sometimes it looks like tapping, and it's like kind of like helping the energy move correctly. And when the energy moves correctly here, then the physical manifestation of this energy center, which is identity, self-worth, self-esteem, who I am in the world, personal power, all of this is kind of settling as well in our lives when we are kind of aligning this energy center, specifically the solar plexus. It makes me think about, because it's more on the left side, and it makes me think about how the lack of nurturing in humanity, the lack of the feminine, is a huge part of this wound that we're dealing with in humanity, specifically around what I'm kind of working on, which is the conflict between Jewish and Muslims people. I'm even like looking at the Bible and I don't see a lot of the feminine in the Bible. Of course there is some, and of course there was when those events actually happened. If some of those events that are written in the Bible, some of them actually happened, I'm sure there was like more of the feminine involved, but we don't really know what was going on at the time. But this feels like a wound that's related to the lack of the mother, the lack of the feminine, the nurturing, the compassion, the lack of balance between our own inner masculine and feminine energies. And the lack of balance has a root. I feel a lot of energy in my feet, which makes me feel like my root chakra flows really well right now. As I said it, I just felt like a huge energetic movement in my left thigh. So I feel like what we did earlier was really helping the root and the third eye. And now we're kind of working specifically on the solar plexus, and the heart feels pretty solid, pretty balanced now, to just kind of hold all of them in this. And for some people it may not be the case. It really depends on the situation, on the person, where you're at on your path. Because I've done so much work on my chakras, I feel like there's like a pretty solid baseline by now, because of all the work I've done on my chakras in the past 2.5 years. And still, you see, just like today, there's still going to be things come up, because it's energy, it's multidimensional, it's infinite layers. And the amount of things that we're holding within our energetic body, aka also because of that, it's also in our physical bodies, it's really infinite. We're holding information for the groups we came from. So that goes for the culture we came from, the country we came from, the race we came from, also the species we came from. So as humanity, we are holding information for the entire collective, for entire humanity within our energy, within our bodies. But of course, all of us, we don't feel it all. We can't feel it all at one point. A lot of these layers are hidden in a very deep, deep, deep energetic layers, and only when the time is right, it comes up, and it doesn't come all at once. Because we're also holding information from, of course, again, entire humanity, and also from past lives, parallel lives, collective, obviously, like I said, but also ancestral. So all this information is within our energy centers, which is within our cells, within our bodies. And this is how it can show up, right? Me sitting, consuming all this content, and all of a sudden feel this like intense sensation in the upper back and the back of my neck. And this is what it can lead to. This is how our body communicates with us and try to tell us, hey, look at me, I'm here. I'm trying to show you something. I need you to look at me. I need you to see me. I need you to stop ignoring me. And when we ignore, we don't listen, then it starts to manifest in all kinds of diseases and sicknesses. So when we're kind of going back to our bodies, into our energy, and getting to know our bodies, being in contact with our bodies, learning to transmute these energies for ourselves, bringing our energy back into coherence so we can live an aligned life that is in alignment with who we are for real, beneath all these traumas and programmings and all of these energetic entanglements. Underneath all of these entanglements and these feelings that we need to feel and process, underneath there's our pure essence, our true selves. And it's a matter of just coming back to it. There's nothing about us that needs to be fixed. There's nothing about us that is broken. It's simply our bodies asking us through these messages, through these pains, through these feelings, through these mental and emotional matters, through these energetic blockages. Our bodies are asking us, I need you to look at me. I need you to come back to you. I need you to come back to me. I need you to be in a relationship with me. I need you to hear me, to see me, to feel me. So right now, I feel so much more coherence in my solar plexus. I feel like my energy center is flowing with so much balance. And I'm just kind of putting my left hand on my sacral chakra now, just to kind of balancing it with the sacral. I feel like the root is pretty good. The solar plexus now is good. The heart feels pretty good. The throat, I could do some work on the throat, but it doesn't feel needed right now. It doesn't feel like I could dig, but my point of this is not to dig for things to do, because again, if we're gonna dig, there's infinite layers that we can find, because we are holding information for entire humanity in our bodies. So instead of digging, it's just working with whatever is present, working with whatever is here that's coming forward. So my third eye feels way better to me now. My crown feels way better to me now. So I'm just kind of balancing it all with the sacral. Maybe I'll do a little balance with the throat as well, just so I can feel pretty balanced with all of them. I'm basically put my hands on those two chakras, and I'm just having the intention, and I'm visualizing the rest of them come into balance with them. It's like there's a tree or a building, and if there's some that are kind of like out and kind of crooked, I'm kind of like bringing it back to balance, bringing it back to one coherent tree. Let me tell you how I feel now before wrapping this up. I feel very relaxed, very calm. I feel like my nervous system is settled. I would say the neck feels like 1.5 out of 10, and my upper back is like maybe half, if half, maybe even nothing out of 10. When I started, it was like 7 or 8 out of 10. I feel very calm and grounded. I feel aligned. I feel like something returned back to me, and something is just relaxed. And yeah, I just wanted to come here and share this real-time process and show what happens to our bodies, even just like when we're consuming something like the news or something that, I mean, I didn't even consume the news. It was just stories about hostages that it's just watching it more and more and more and more and more, and not having a healthy boundary with like the amount. And for me, thankfully, because I've done this work for a while, I'm more in tune with my body. And when I felt this like block in my upper back, I realized like, wow, okay, I really need to stop and just lay on this bed and just go in and drop in with my body and see what's here. And I'm so glad that I did. I'm almost like thinking to myself, oh, there was a very profound reason for me to go and scroll for 3 hours and watch all of these stories, for me to be able to tap into this, because this was the right time for me to bring it up and work through this, and to align these energies within me, and to also have the privilege and honor to be able to record it and share it with you all. So let me know in the comments your thoughts about this. If you have any questions, thank you for being here with me in this process with me today, and just inviting you to just tune in with your body. Listen to what your body's telling you. If your body's trying to tell you to pause, take a deep breath, to set a boundary around something, it can be anything, to say no, or what it is that your body needs. Maybe it's laying on the earth, maybe it's drinking water, maybe it's eating a healthy meal, maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's taking a bath. What is it that your body needs today?